Hello, dear Loter for Life here, bringing us a brand new video, and today it's Banlist Day. Finally, my God, it felt like it was never gonna happen. So, I've already seen the ban list. I've already read it over. I've already had time to think about it. This is not going to be a reaction video if that's what you were looking for. I'm sorry. I was at locals, doing really well with Valmonica at my locals today. 2-0'd Snake Eye Fiend Smith, that was fun, and then I ended up going 4-1 with pure Valmonica. Yes, that deck profile will be coming up hopefully this week. We will see. Anyway, so, on another note, though, the ban list came out, everybody was talking about it, it was kind of hard to avoid spoilers, so just read it, and I'm very mixed on this ban list. It's a very good ban list overall. It's not the perfect ban list. It's not even the best ban list we could have had. There's a lot more stuff they could have put on the list. There's a lot more stuff they could have taken off the list. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, list of forbidden cards. Let's get the easy ones out of the way. Apollousa, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, and Beatrice have all been banned, along with Fiend Smith's Lacrima. It's kind of funny. One Fusion, one Link, one Synchro, one Xyz. We just needed to get a Ritual monster and a Pendulum monster, and then we'd have one of every monster. Or wait, no, I feel like we're missing one still. I don't know. Anyways, I'm very tired. It's been a long day. So, Appo, that was an... I feel like it was a pretty obvious one. I don't feel like Appo was that much of a problem card. She was only really a problem card in Snake Eye, and I really feel like Snake Eye was a deck that is a deck, let's be honest here, is a deck that has exasperated a lot of the problems with modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It's really shown off a lot of the problems with modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And modern card design. And it's the deck that has taken the most advantage of some of these very, for the longest time, been around in the game, generic boss monsters that were in the extract. You know, Snake Eye got Borreload Savage banned, they got Baron banned, and now that deck has gotten Appo banned. There was a lot to Appo. They could make it with, like, and then have, like, Nightmare Phoenix underneath it so it can't be run over. They could make it along with some other stuff, most notably, like, a Masquerena in the back row that you didn't summon, and then you do, go for, like, a SP Little Knight, stuff like that. The card itself, by herself, is not particularly that strong, and she was always best whenever you had other stuff on the field. You know, so... The thing is that Snake Eye can fart out so many monsters without even trying, without even using a normal summon, for God's sake, that Appo often came out with her whole gaggle of friends who were ready to beat your face in without even using a normal summon. So, I don't like that Appo got banned, personally, like on a personal level, but I understand where it came from. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity was another card coming. I really don't feel like it needed to be banned. Centurion was never that good where like it was dominating the format or anything. Did it feel good to get Hot Red Dragon? No, but it's like at the same time they weren't really like going to OTK you that often. It wasn't really going to kill you. And like depending on your deck, you could just, you know, play around it, but I don't know. I'm very mixed on it. Actually, not really. I don't care. It's gone. Centurion's just going to change to, well, popping out Quasars, Blazars, and everything in between that's a level 12. It's kind of funny how Synchron decks that want to, like, hard make these cards just aren't doing it as well as the deck that cheeses them out. Then we got Beatrice. Beatrice was a ban that should have happened, like, years ago, it feels like, but it's finally here, and hey, thank God. Nothing feels more good... Not really, no, than getting Mayakashi to where you have to skip your turn and stuff. That's happened to me only one time, but man, I was not happy. That cost me the match, and it was not fun. The card only got more and more broken with every set that came out, and every deck that could make use of it. And of course, now we got the best rank 6 engine in, like, the history of this game, so yeah, it was going to happen eventually. Now, Lacrima. Lacrima is a card that's very interesting because it's a common from the most recent set, but it's also one of the most broken cards in Fiend Smith. It was not a card that I even considered once about banning. Personally, if you really wanted to kill the Fiend Smith engine, I feel like banning the Link 1 would be the way to go. But I don't think this was them trying to kill the engine. This was very much them trying to limit its power. And thank God, because Fiend Smith is a little bit too broken in my opinion. Now, what is Fiendsmith still going to be able to do? It's still going to be able to do a lot, like, unironically. Fiendsmith can still put 2 free bodies on board. It can still help you link climb. It can still help you go into big stuff. It's still a very powerful engine. Not as many decks I feel are going to be using it as much. I feel like it's going to be best in like Yugioh and other fiend-focused archetypes. Like, I'd really like to try Falmonica, Fiendsmith with this new stuff. Well, with the lack of the new stuff, I should say, under this new ban list and see how it works. But that's going to have to depend on if Engraver goes down in price, which I am curious about. So I am going to pull up TCG Player. I do not do market watches or anything, but I am genuinely curious about this Fiend Smith Engraver. How much is he now? He's still like $100. Yeah. Engraver's not gonna go down in price. Not until people see for a fact if the engine is like dead or not. It's not. The engine's still great. Lacrima, the biggest thing is that it makes them have to work a bit harder for their big plays, and also it gets rid of the burn effect. And I think, really, honestly, I think Konami hit this card mainly for the burn effect. Because here's the big thing, okay? How many people got freaking killed in time with the burn effect on stream? It's a little ridiculous. Now, of course, the correct thing to do would be to fix the time rolls, make us do like 3 turns or something, or heck, even just until end of turn instead of end of phase, Konami. But, you know what? Yeah, sure, just hit other cards because of time. You know, it's fine, whatever. Moving on, let's talk about the limits. The limit list is a little bit more interesting because just look at how many limits there are. Oh my god. So, Eva is a card I don't really care about. Woohoo, cool, good for Drytron. It's a card that if you don't know what it does, it's a... I think it came out in a structure deck originally, right? Yeah, structure deck Wave of Light. That was the counter fairy structure deck. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can banish up to 2 other light fairies from your hand, from your field or graveyard. Add from your deck to your hand level 2 or lower light fairy monsters with different names except Eva equal to number of banished monsters. So you can banish 2 others and search out any 2 light fairies that are level 2 or lower. The big thing with Eva is that it was very abusable in Drytron. And with this back, it'll be interesting to see if Drytron sees play again. The deck did just get new support. So Eva coming back might help that deck out a bit more. Maybe we'll see Drytron as a solid rogue deck. We'll have to wait and see. It's really funny too, because this card was garbage when it came out. It did nothing for the deck it was printed in either. Counter Fairy, yeah, sure, you could play the counter, like the actual counter fairies with the heralds, which it's intended to search, but like it just never came up. Wow. Yeah, this structure deck did not hold up well at all, did it? Next up, we got Snake Eyes Ash and Poplar to 1 each. That does nothing. These are the only real hits to the Snake Eyed archetype proper, and it does nothing, okay? So here's the thing, okay? All they do is they fill up their space now with other non-engine or engine cards. They can literally just now play Birch if they want to for extension. Or they can now just double up on the number of oaks and, increase the number of hand traps. Or better yet, when Rage of the Abyss comes out, they're just going to slam in the YgoAminos. This does nothing at all. Like, really. Okay, it doesn't do nothing because the grind game for Snake Eye gets a lot worse. And if you, God forbid, draw your one of Poplar, now you're going to be that much worse on with Ash. But the power level of Snake Eye is still full power. 1 Ash is full combo still. 1 Poplar is almost full combo, but just not as explosive. And the deck still has full power of everything else. Bonfire's at 3. The Wanted Poster and Bellstar are still at 3, unless I'm totally mistaken here. No, yeah, still at 3. So, the the power level of Snake Eye has gone nowhere. The consistency has. And unfortunately, consistency is not something that this deck cares for, because it has plenty of it. You still have 3 you still have 3 Wanted, you still have 3 Bellstar, you still have 3 Bonfire, you still have technically as many OSS as you want to play. You maybe just bump it up to 2 or something now. I this does nothing, like, realistically in a long haul. Snake Eye is still going to be one of the best decks. Maybe not until Rage of the Abyss comes out. Maybe it's going to flounder a bit for a while. And by the time people figure out how to play Snake Eye with one Ash, one Poplar, and a lack of an Apo, maybe by the time that they figure that out, Rage of the Abyss will come out, and YgoAmino fixes everything. So, well, screws everything else up for everybody else, but fixes Snake Eye's problems. So, we'll have to wait and see. I'm trying to be optimistic, but realistically, after seeing how things went in Japan, it's not gonna change much. Next, we got number 40, Gimmick Puppet of Strings and its Chaos variant, Gimmick Puppet of Dark Strings. This is just to try to make the FTK that much harder. Now you have to have the field spell to FTK. Before this, you didn't have to have the field spell. It helped, but it wasn't necessary. Now, if you don't have the field spell, you can't FTK. And on top of that, you gotta be much more careful with how you're playing the deck in order to FTK. So you have to be really, really smart about how you play this deck. I'm not gonna lie one bit. So people are gonna figure it out, I'm sure. It'll be interesting. I've lost interest in Gimmick Puppets. It's sad. I like Gimmick Puppets as a idea a lot. It was one of my favorite decks from Premium Gold back in the day and playing around with it. But making it an FTK deck where your opponent doesn't even get to play, it's boring as sin. That's one of the reasons why I don't play Tenpai. It's boring as sin. Next up, Branded Fusion to 1. Okay, so that makes it so that Branded Fusion is not 1 in every format, counting Master Duel and OCG if I'm correct. I might be wrong. Branded Fusion to 1, funnily enough, doesn't do much to the deck. All it does is like, oh, now you just have to search your one of Branded Fusion or recur it. And the deck has ways to do it. It just makes the deck mildly less consistent. But in a deck that sometimes you, depending on who you are and what you're doing with the deck, sometimes you play upwards of 60 cards. It's not going to change anything. You can still puppet lock. You can still do all that stuff. It's still going to be a bit more susceptible to that stuff. Now, the big thing is, of course, with one Branded Fusion is that if you stop them from getting to it, or you stop the Branded Fusion, they're going to have that much of a harder time. So, it is a strong hit. It's just not the hit that the deck really needed, I think. Heck, even then, Branded's like not even like that prevalent of a deck, I think, from what I've seen. Like, yeah, it gets the occasional top here and there because it steals games with the Gimmick Puppet. But, oh well. Next, we got Opening of the Spirit Gates. This is their hit to Yubel, and it's the hit I really did not want, because that also means now Sacred Beast is much worse. I hate when a meta deck gets another deck killed or makes it unplayable, and that's very much the case with here. I really would have preferred they hit Nightmare Pain or Nightmare Throne. Both of those are old enough to where they could have, but they aren't going to do that. Of course, the real correct hit is to put Phantom of Yubel to 1, because that card is way too broken and has no business being a card that you can summon 3 of in one turn with no restrictions. But I digress. So Opening of Spirit Gates is the main hit to Yubel, and it's like really the only hit, other than maybe, I guess, technically the Fiendsmith stuff over here. So until Rage of the Abyss comes out, maybe Yubel is the best deck. We'll have to see. Pot of Prosperity should have been hit to 1 like forever ago. That card is stupid. Being able to dig your deck 6 cards and search for practically anything, theoretically, depending on what you're looking for, it's not a really balanced card, in my opinion. At least to some extent. It's a card that fixes your hands and makes your deck that much more consistent. I'm not the biggest fan of it. And then he got Sangan Summoning to put to 1. This is like the best Tenpai hit, and unfortunately it doesn't do much. Tenpai in Japan has 1 Prosperity, 1 Sangan Summoning, if I remember correctly. And it does not do enough. Let's see here. I want to look it up real quick. Sangan Summoning. I'm pretty sure that's at 1 in Japan. Yeah, it's limited in the OCG. And then Pot of Prosperity. Let's see here. Yeah, it's also limited in the OCG. So yeah, they only have 1 and 1, and if you look at the pie graphs, Tenpai is one of the best decks over there still. The big thing, of course, though, that they do have is they currently have Furuwas, and they also have Maxi. So maybe Tenpai will take a bit of a back seat until we get Rhoda. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but we'll see. Other than that, Tenpai's still a very powerful deck. They're just gonna have to play Prosperity and probably some other draw cards or something. Maybe they play, I don't know, Pot of Desires or something. We'll have to see. I hate saying that, but like trying to go off of what OCG does and then looking at what we did here in the TCG, where we're mirroring a lot of what they did in the OCG, I'm not the biggest fan of. Anyways, next up, that grass looks greener. Okay, cool. I don't care. I really don't care. Let people play their 60-card decks and mill 20 cards. Freaking Fairy Tale Snow is still banned, so I really don't care. Let people try it. Cool. Awesome. More deck diversity. Let's go. Skill Drain to 1 probably should have been banned because you can turn it off with Snake Eye and White Forest, but yeah, no, they kept it, didn't they? So, yeah, the only thing now is you're not going to see it as often, but also now at the same time, there's no reason not to play it in those decks. You could make an argument that, oh, I don't have the space for 3 cards of it. No, now you have 1, and oh, look at that! Snake Eyes lost 2 Ash and then 1 to 2 Poplar, depending on who you were, how many you were playing in your deck. Now you can fit that 1 Skill Drain in your deck, in the main deck. It's like, come on. Let's move on to the semi-limits. I don't get the hate for the semi-limit list. I think it's fine. It's something that Konami really needs to use more often, but I digress. So, first and foremost, all 4 Dragon Roars to 2. Every time I see a Dragon Roar go up, I'm like, no, Konami. I lived through Dragon Roar format. It was not fun. So, on that regard, Dragon Roars, I'm iffy on. We'll have to see what they do. I feel like that, honestly, if Kashtira wasn't, like, neutered with the Arise Heart band, it'd be a lot better, because having tested Kashtira, Dragon Roar, oh my god. It was so good. It was so good, but with Arise Heart band, yeah, I'm not really that concerned about the Dragon Roars. They make really cool, like, extra cards into, like, very attribute-focused archetypes. Like, Redox is, like, great in, like, Earth decks, like Medulce and, like, Amazonas and stuff. Tidal is probably the scariest one, especially with the Merlantian support coming out in the next set. So, yeah, that's a bit concerning. Lunalight Tiger should have really gone to 3. I forget why it even got hit to 1 in the first place. I think it was, like, some variant of oh god, what was it? Trabrigade, I think? I can't remember. Tiger probably could go to 3. I don't think it'd do any issue. This makes me want to tinker with Lunalight again because I love that deck, and Ghost Second is probably still going to be pretty good going into this format. Thunder Dragon Colossus went up to 2 instead of going down to 1, which is intriguing. This card, I haven't seen much play. There have been some people playing it, and here's the thing with Colossus. Putting it at 2 or 3 only helps Thunder Dragon decks. Putting it at 1, you don't see it played in other, and like you don't see, like, if you're playing Ritual Beast, you're only playing 1 Thunder Dragon Colossus. You don't care if it's a 2, 3, or 20. So yeah, this card I'm curious on. I want to see how it goes. I'm hoping maybe Thunder Dragon gets new support because the deck needs it, like, badly. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm excited. I want to play Thunder Dragon. But god, Thunder Dragons need reprints so bad. Have you seen? I mean, I think the stuff went down in price, but like at the same time, oh thank god he did. This was like a $30 card for a bit. Okay, I might have to pick up the rest of the Thunder Dragon stuff I need. I might have to do that. Okay, so yeah. Then Ib could go to 3 and not be a problem, I think. We're way past the days of when that card was broken. Moving to 3, Armageddon Knight. Okay, cool. That card can be scary in the right format, in the right deck, so maybe it'll see play again in something. Red Rose Dragon, I honestly forgot it was even limited. I think that was Plants... No, not Plant Synchro. That was that weird, like, amalgamation of, like, red, like plants and synchro decks and dragons for a bit there. I remember that. Oh god, that was a weird deck. Unicorn to 3. Cool, awesome. Where's Electromite, Konami? I want my Electromite back. Perform Age plus Fire to 3. Awesome. It's got the errata. We're getting the new Perform Age stuff sometime in the future, hopefully. So, yay. Don't know what I'm going to do with Perform Age Plush Fire at the moment, if anything. Because, like, the deck that I'm, like, playing Perform Age is in at the moment, Plush Fire doesn't really help. So, it's like, I could take or leave it. Then we got one Ancient Fairy Dragon, one Dinglong, and one... we got Ancient Fairy Dragon to 3, Dinglong to 3, Time Seal to 3. None of these matter, like, at all. Dinglong... it sees fringe play here and there, and it's really cool in certain decks, but it's not super relevant. So yeah, that's everything. I don't care about any of these other than Plush Fire and Kieran, pretty much. So yeah, that's everything. What's missing though? Flying Bird should have been banned. That or Ash. I don't care. That or OSS, honestly. Any of those three should have been banned. I know that, like, people are like, oh, but we are getting reprints, I'm sure, and the deck is getting technically new support. It's like, I don't care. No deck should be able to stay at the top table as the best deck. Not even like as one of, but as the best deck for as long as Snake Eye has. Maybe I'm just going crazy because it feels like 2 years, but it's only been a year and some change. And ever since Snake Eye first came out and everything, yeah, they didn't do much of Age of Overlord, but as soon as Phantom Nightmare came out, I'm so sick of Wanted, I'm so sick of OSS, I'm so sick of Diabell Star, all of that. It's just aggravating. And that's the really only big thing I wanted to hit. I would have liked some more hits to Yubel. I overall am very mixed on this ban list. I think for the month between now and when October 11th, I believe it is when the Rage of the Abyss comes out. That this like short format we're gonna have is going to be interesting. I get the feeling it's going to be very relatively balanced, very relatively fair. It's going to be intriguing, to say the least. But as soon as Rage of the Abyss comes out, Snake Eye best deck. Snake Eye best deck without even trying. It's going to be Snake Eye best deck because of the YgoAmino stuff. And honestly, depending on how long it takes for the Snake Eye players to figure out their Fiendsmith stuff and everything, Snake Eye might still be the best deck. That or it's going to be Yubel or Tenpai. It's going to be one of those three, and that's it. It's going to be the same three decks that we've had to deal with for like forever for now. So am I still playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Seriously? I'm gonna keep going for a little bit, see how things go with this, with the ban list, see what people come up with and cook and all that stuff. Whatever the youngins say, I guess it's now let them cook or whatever. I don't stay up to date with memes. I'm sorry. As soon as Rage of the Abyss comes out, I have never been so like mixed on a set before. I am looking forward to the shark stuff, some of the other cool stuff in there, but at the same time, man, I want to be excited for YgoAmino. I really do. It's such a cool concept for a deck. It is such a cool concept. But what were they thinking, making one of the low-level ones? They only need to send one Sinful Spoils card to Fusion Summon. The Omni Negate. That should have been the Boss Monster's effect, dang it. Konami, what are you doing? Okay, that's everything. Rate, comment, subscribe. Look out for that Valmonica deck profile soon. I actually made one like mid-July and then totally forgot to upload it. Well, I uploaded it actually. It's on the back end, but never published it because literally the day I uploaded it, I was going to upload it before info dropped, and then info dropped, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, now it's outdated. So, yeah, gotta make the updated one, so be on the lookout for that, along with future videos whenever I get around to making them. Thank you all for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and see you all later. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider rating, commenting, and subscribing. Sharing the video helps as well. If you especially really like it, please do consider being a channel member. Every little bit helps out. And hey, also why not check me out on my other social media pages. Thank you, and have a great day.